Are you aware that MQ-9 Reaper drones conduct airstrikes against enemies? To learn everything there is to know, watch the entire video. General Atomics Aeronautical Systems, or GAASI, created the General Atomics MQ-9 Reaper, also known as the Predator B, as a remotely piloted or autonomous unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV, principally for the U.S. Air Force, or USAF. The USAF refers to the MQ-9 and other unmanned aerial vehicles, or UAVs, as remotely piloted vehicles or aircraft, or RPV or RPA, to denote their human ground controllers. The MQ-9 is the first hunter-killer unmanned aerial vehicle intended for high-altitude, extended observation. We have transitioned from employing UAVs exclusively in intelligence observation and reconnaissance missions before Operation Iraqi Freedom to a genuine hunter-killer role with the Reaper, according to Michael Mosley, then Chief of Staff of the United States Air Force General Command in 2006. Compared to the preceding General Atomics MQ-1 Predator, the MQ-9 is a bigger, heavier, and more powerful aircraft. The same ground systems that are used to operate the MQ can also control this. In contrast to the Predator's 115 horsepower, 86 kilowatt piston engine, the Reaper's turboprop engine produces 950 shaft horsepower and 712 kilowatts. The Reaper can cruise at nearly 3 times the speed of the MQ-1 and can carry 15 times more ammunition thanks to its increased power. Aircrew members in the ground control station keep an eye on and manage the aircraft, or GCS. The 174th Attack Wing of the Newark Air National Guard started switching from F-16 piloted aircraft to MQ-9 Reapers in 2008, including the deployment of weapons. In March 2011, the 174th Attack Wing became the first fighter unit to convert totally to Unmanned Combat Aerial Vehicle, or UCAV use. More advanced unmanned aerial vehicle pilots are being trained by the U.S. Air Force than for any other type of weapon system. Additionally, the CIA, U.S. Customs and Border Protection, NASA, the U.S. Navy, and the militaries of numerous other nations all use the Reaper. As of September 2016, the U.S. Air Force was using 195 and Q-9 Reapers, and they intend to continue using them through the 2030s. The 174th Attack Wing of the New York Air National Guard started making the switch from F-16 piloted aircraft to MQ-9A Reapers in 2008, making it the first fighter unit to fully adopt the use of unmanned combat aerial vehicles. More advanced unmanned aerial vehicle pilots were being trained by the U.S. Air Force in March 2011 than for any other type of weapon system. The military of a number of foreign nations, as well as U.S. Customs and Border Protection, operate the Reaper. By May 2021, the USAF was operating over 300 MQ-9 Reapers, and 16 more aircraft are on the way, thanks to funding provided by the FY 2021 congressional budget. In order to increase performance in high-end combat circumstances, as of that date, certain new equipment modifications have been put onto some of the MQ-9 aircraft that are now in service and will be included in all upcoming MQ-9 procurements. The MQ-9 fleet's expected service life expires in 2035. It has been widely reported that a MQ-9 Reaper drone was used to murder senior Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani recently, but what exactly goes into such an operation? Much of the reporting and commentary has continued to buy into the false notion that drones enable instant killing using machines that absolve military personnel of the risks and obligations of warfare, despite the fact that it's obvious that the Trump administration has final say in whether or not to carry out the attack. Due to this, the U.S. military and other forces that employ attack drones are typically very discreet about their operations, which only serves to perpetuate the misleading impressions. As a result, despite quotes from unidentified government sources appearing in various accounts, no official pronouncements have verified the employment of the Reaper in this case. The exact nature of the attack and the fact that the Reaper is the sole attack drone currently used by the U.S. military make a drone strike in this instance more likely than not. I worked with 2 RAF Reaper units for 2 years to conduct research on these pilots. This included observing live lethal strikes with crews at RAF Weddington and Creech Air Force Base. Additionally, it featured 90 interviews with Reaper's employees. Here are the main things you need to know about how such an attack would probably unfold and the significance of first knowing the role of human military operators based on what I discovered. At the push of a button, Reapers are sent flying thousands of miles away. A delay of this magnitude might result in crashes during takeoff or landing because it can take up to 2 seconds for a satellite-controlled signal to reach a reef across another continent. Instead, the Reaper must take off in or near the area where the drone operation will take place, within the line of sight of a nearby launch and recovery pilot. Control of the Reaper can be handed over to a team hundreds of miles distant once it's securely in the air. According to one report, the drone that killed Soleimani was flying above the Baghdad airport when when the missile was fired. While it's true that Soleimani was killed at the Baghdad airport and that a Reaper may have been orbiting the target area, Hellfire missiles are not launched straight down and instead require that a Reaper hover like a helicopter or the smaller DJI Phantom drone. Are you finding this info to be interesting so far? Then press like on this video right now. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share the video. An airplane named the Reaper has a 20-meter wingspan. For a successful missile launch, it is piloted using flight control services like flaps and ailerons, which are moved through satellite signals. The Reaper must be targeted at its target from up to a few kilometers away in order to generate the proper firing angle. Depending on the launch height and distance, the missiles normally take 30 seconds to reach that location. The attack must be launched by human operators after the targets have been located. Reapers are not autonomous weapon systems that make decisions about which victims to kill and when to do so. Hellfire laser-guided missiles may have been fired from a drone that killed Soleimani, but they would have originated from a ground control center in the US. Senior operators would have guided each missile under Soleimani's car or as an escort vehicle. This is the last phase in a highly manual process. We sometimes have the idea that the drone handles everything. Not at all. This isn't a video game. This is significant to comprehend because, strictly from an economic standpoint, it is not accurate to say that drones are turning killing into a computer game. In reality, an MQ-9 Reaper drone's controls are neither as complex nor as sensitive as modern game controllers. After 9/11, the MQ-1 Predator, on which the MQ-9 Reaper is based, was rushed into service, and due to time restrictions, standard military aircraft testing and development were not carried out. The controls were not designed to be as user-friendly as they would be in the Reaper successors as a result. The human aspect is more significant. The targets of Reaper crews that have been following someone for days or weeks are not just pixels on a screen, but actual living people. Cruise commanders and image analysts also continue to observe from above after a missile or bomb strike, doing battle damage assessment while operators watch targets, spend time with family and friends, or even play with their kids. They witness the body fragments being gathered and taken to be buried. They witness mourning distraught relatives. Therefore, using a drone involves serious hazards. They're aware that it's not a game with a reset button as a result. Therefore, using a drone involves serious hazards. One reason is that terrorists have released a hit list and attempted to target Reaper pilots, but the psychological risk of frequently viewing traumatic incidents and deadly attacks in close-up detail is more common. The effect of this, according to a senior Reaper commander, is substantially bigger than it ever was with a man in the cockpit. Although the risk exists, these psychological impacts are not yet well understood. Anyone in the Reaper fleet who claims that it doesn't influence them is lying. As one senior operator previously said, it does. Future generations of the Air Force will need to rely on remotely piloted aircraft like the Reaper to offer essential capabilities. People must grasp what this technology can and cannot accomplish in order to debate it effectively. They also need to be aware that their governments do not employ autonomous drones to kill uninvited victims. Human operators are making critical decisions that have far-reaching effects on everyone concerned. Thanks for watching the video. We've reached the end of it. Let's know in the comments below what you think about this one. Oh, aren't you interested to know more about the most feared weapon against Russian army in Ukraine, aka US drones? Then tap on the video on the screen right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.